Hi, I'm Heather Noel from theGivingGameFoundation.com. You're about to hear a private session that brought about a great deal of emotional healing. If you listen carefully, you will see that this session is a blueprint that you can apply to yourself. Who knows how to process their emotions?
Right.
Right? Anybody? I don't. Like I don't know what that means. If someone says, "Go ahead, just process that," I'm like, "What?" So let's talk about how to do this. So what we're going to focus on is how to help someone process their emotions. Okay? So this is what you could do. Instead of saying, well, you just need to be patient, you need to process your emotions, you need to feel, patient with yourself. But how do you get there? Okay? This good? All right. So this is how we do it. This is how I do it. And this is really, we'll get right to the point. So all three of you, think of something where you need to process an emotion. And so do all three of you have something that you need to, that you get triggered, right? So and you may or may not still be experiencing this, but you can imagine something for the purpose of this talk. But do all three of you, so we know Amelia's got it. Rebecca and Audra, do you both have things that you could practice processing right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is what we do. You start off with a story. So Amelia's told you the story. Then you say, okay, now you've told the story. Feel the emotion. And then she just shared what her emotion was. So now we've got that clarity. So both of you do the same thing. All three of you do that. You just think of a story, and then you feel the emotion, okay? And now what you're going to do is you're going to drop the story and just feel the emotion. Okay? And I will usually ask people to locate it in their bodies. Right? So Amelia, when you feel this feeling that you're talking about, where do you feel it in your body?
Heart.
Heart, okay. And then what emotion are you feeling, Rebecca?
Sadness.
Okay, and where do you feel it?
The heart also.
Okay. Audra, what are you feeling?
Frustration, and I think it's my chest.
Chest, okay, great. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take that feeling, you're going to drop the story, take the feeling, and just exaggerate the feeling so you can really, really feel it. So if you're sad, feel really, really sad, or frustrated, feel really, really frustrated. And then feel that feeling. So now you've got it located in the body, but feel it until you can actually physically feel it in your body. Okay? Feel it? Does anybody not feel it strongly? Okay. Now, just try this. Just breathe. Just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe. And hold the thought, I'm willing to let it go. And just keep breathing. And tell me, each one of you, tell me when the physical feeling starts to change in your body. Keep breathing.
I mean, mine is constantly fluctuating, but it lessens.
Okay, it's lessening. And feel how it just feels like tingly after a little while. It'll change. The feeling changes. Keep breathing. Just think, I'm willing to let it go.
Yeah, it's lessening. Yeah. Softening.
Okay. Right? Isn't that interesting? That it's just it means that emotion has been physically stuck in your body. As you breathe, it naturally releases. So this is like horses getting scared. They run to the end of the pasture, and they snort, and they fart, and right? And then they take some deep breaths, and then they go eat grass again, right? Well, the problem is that what we do as human beings is we suppress that energy, and it gets stuck in the body. And so when you will exaggerate the feeling and breathe into it and be willing to let it go, because It's just like in the Course in Miracles where it says, God knows you don't know how to forgive. Be willing to forgive, and God will take care of the rest. Right? So when you're willing to let it go, then you're opening it up for the non-physical realm to assist you, whether it's God or angels or your whoever, your nature team, right? So as you keep breathing, just notice how it just, like, you don't really feel it anymore. Okay? So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is take that feeling, and this is the most powerful one, but I like teaching the one where you breathe so that you can actually feel how that feels to breathe into it, and you can actually feel it change. And notice that you don't feel as connected to that energy now, do you? The emotion. Do you?
No.
Yeah, right? It's like, oh, interesting. It's just a feeling. We think it's got all, we attach it to a story, but here's what's actually happening. So imagine that you had this feeling of sadness or frustration or whatever. I forgot what you're feeling, Amelia. What was your thing? What was your feeling?
It was sadness and abandonment, I think.
Abandonment, right?
Okay. Well, I can't remember because I was working on letting it go. So I was like,
good. Awesome. But that's perfect. That's yeah.
I feel abandoned like 5 seconds ago.
That's right. That was so way back when. I don't remember that.
Way back when I was feeling real abandoned.
Right? That old thing, So when you think about these, these feelings, yeah, it is good. It's laughter is success.
I just want to say that really quickly. Like if you just start like laughing and you start laughing, like you just kind of laugh it away. It's just not there anymore.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right, because it's really like a hypnotic suggestion that you're sad, you're because it isn't really here in this moment. You're pulling it out of the past. When you laugh about it, it literally breaks the hypnosis so that you literally can't feel it anymore. And I want to tell you a little story about Tony Robbins, who did this. So there was this woman who came up to him after this is back when he was small potatoes. He's not like these huge events he does now, but she came up to him, and this was back in the day when people would line up to talk to a speaker. So she comes up, and she's all teary, and she's talking about her husband and how sad, and da-da-da-da-da. And he's sitting there. He's got a glass of water, and they have like a pitcher of water. And this tells you how long ago it was, because there weren't any plastic bottles.
I didn't realize this was him.
Yeah. And so basically this woman was just in tears, and she was so upset. And he literally just took his glass of water while she said, go ahead, tell me your story. And she starts going on into her story, and he pours water on the top of her head, just a little bit. And she's like, what? When did you do that? And he's like, oh, no, keep going. It's like, and she was like all kind of confused, but she's like, oh, okay. So then she gets back into her story, and she starts crying again. He does it again. And then she's like, well, I don't, and she's like, why is she, I don't understand. No, trust me, just keep telling your story. She does it one more time. He pours water on her head, and she bursts out laughing. And then when he asked her to go back and try to talk about it, she couldn't cry anymore because it broke the program. So that's all it is. It's just breaking the program. And so that's what, there's a variety of ways that you can do that. But you can always ask, if you or your sister, you guys, and I'm going to do this with Amelia because sometimes she gets into a funk. I'm going to have a squirt bottle from now on. When she starts doing it, I'm just going to squirt her. And that's what I suggest you twins do with each other. Just squirt your twins so that's fair, right?
And then to me when I was a kid.
I know, and I didn't have to do it very much. And then she started picking on our adult friends. We had an adult friend, and Amelia's she was so done with her. She was like 13 years old. She's like, I'm getting this. She's like, Mom, I'm getting the squirt bottle. I'm like, you go for it, Amelia. Just give her a squirt.
Whiny. She thought I was joking. I was like, Mom, where's the squirt bottle? And I'm like, if you complain, I'm going to squirt you with this, and I don't care where I hit you. And she's like, oh, ha, ha. And she starts, like, talking, and I squirt her, and she was shocked. And I was like, Dad, keep telling me your story. Keep going.
Right? So you should each have a squirt gun and be prepared, right? So that if anyone's in a funk, you have my permission to squirt me so I get out of it, because it'll work. You'll be like, it'll completely shift your energy. So yeah, I'm excited now. I've got plans. I'm going to get a squirt gun on Amazon. Just a small one, Amelia. I won't get you one of the super soakers or anything, but just a small.
Yeah, if you do, then that's game on at that point, Mom.
Yeah, but you can't do it back unless I'm whining, and I don't whine, so that's the difference.
I can still do it back.
No, you can't. Nope.
Yes, I can.
That's not.
I will.
Okay, Amelia. All right. So anyhow, back on topic. Okay. So these are both excellent examples, and I'm sure that you girls will have fun with this because you're right there. Like, oh, but you have to acknowledge that if you're in a funk and the other person knows it, that it's okay. You've given them permission to do that. You can't fight back the way Amelia would, because that'll just create a whole different story. So we don't want to do that. But just let yourself literally go through whatever you go through when you get squirted, right? And if you get mad or you whatever, but probably it'll snap you out of it, and that's what you want. And if you can come up with something as simple as someone squirting you with a squirt gun, I mean, wouldn't that just be great if that's all it took to change your mind? It's like, oh my God, yes, give it to me. Pour that water on my head. I don't care. Snap me out of it. Okay. So this is kind of a good way to start here. So then the other thing that I do is I have a person, so we can have a new feeling. Since you guys, have all three of you cleared this energy around the feeling that you just had? Is it gone now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's experiment. Let's go for a new feeling, something else. So we dealt with abandonment, sadness, and frustration. All right. So, and you can I'll pick something else where you still get stuck, and just look around until you find something. I'll take you on another little journey. Okay. And Amelia, we'll start with you. You tell us where's an energy that you're still stuck?
Anger.
Okay. Rebecca?
I need a minute to think about it real quick.
Okay, Audra?
I think a little bit of fear.
Fear. Okay. And we'll wait for you, Rebecca, until you get a good juicy emotion to come up with.
Okay, probably uncertainty.
Okay, perfect. All right. So go into the feeling again, and you're gonna let yourself, have the story in your mind. And this is the thing, you're gonna notice I don't need to know people's stories. That's why I don't let them go on and on about a story. I'm just like, okay, tell me in 2 minutes or less what the story is. And it's really a fun challenge for people. So now you're gonna feel the feeling with the story. And now what I want to show you is that when you drop the story and just feel the feeling, notice if the feeling came up without a story. So if you felt anger and you felt uncertainty and you felt, what was yours, Audra?
Fear.
Fear, okay. So if these feelings just come up, but there's not a story with it, wouldn't it kind of freak you out to just have the feeling and there's nothing attached to it? You just feel fear, or you just feel anger, or you just feel, and there's nothing attached, and you can't even think of a story to go with it. Wouldn't that kind of freak you out?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So what's really happening is that you have all these emotions that are stored in the body. And so the emotions are trying to be released because you can't move forward if you're stuck in fear and anger and all that, right? You know you're stuck. right? And you know that you can only go so far in your relationships, in your health, everything. It holds you back. So the way that this game works is that you come up with a story that gives you a reason to feel the feeling that needs to be released. Okay? You come up with a story that gives you a reason to feel the feeling that needs to be released. Now think about that. Why? And this is how it works. All of you could have had the same exact experience. All three of you would have a different feeling about it, wouldn't you? Like Amelia has one feeling about this guy, and he broke up after 2 weeks, and she's got her, like, I felt abandoned and this and that. But someone else might just be like, well, screw you, I'm never seeing you again, and feel nothing. And someone else would, right? So there's this whole variety. But the storyline is only to bring up an emotion in you so that you can clear it. That's how the game works, because you don't know you're playing a game, right? So how do you know if you're storing emotions? Well, you know them when they come up. Otherwise, you could go, oh, no, I don't feel fear. I don't feel pain. I don't feel abandonment. I'm fine, right? But then something happens, and that comes up, and then you know that you've been holding on to it. You've been hanging on to that feeling instead of like the horse that breathes and snorts and starts eating grass again. So you've been hoarding that feeling. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to ride back on that emotion. So Amelia, you go back to the first time you can remember feeling anger. And Audra, you go back to fear. And Rebecca, you go back to uncertainty. And you go back the first time you can remember feeling it. Now, it may not be the first time. You might not know when you first felt it, but just give it your best shot so you can actually remember what that was. And if you can't specifically remember anything, go to the closest memory that you do have of feeling uncertain or fear or whatever, okay? All right. So can all three of you think of like that first time you can remember feeling that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to imagine a bubble of gold light around that experience, and you're going to go in and you're going to see your little girl. By the way, Audra and Rebecca, I can't tell who's who. Are both of you there? Were you able to see this first time that you could experience it, fear and uncertainty, both of you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So this is what I tell everybody. When you do this, you're going to go, I'm willing to heal this feeling of whatever it is throughout time, space, and all dimensional realities. I'm willing to heal this feeling throughout time, space, and all dimensional realities. So that's going to cover your bases. But what we're trying to get to is what's called like the causal seed. Like this is when that emotional seed got planted in your subconscious. Okay? All right. So now you're going to go back. Now, I've never done this with 3 people at once, so we're going to have to do this one at a time. But I'm going to give you I'm going to talk to each one of you so you have a moment to work through this. Okay? But what you're going to do is go to be with your little girl. And the more you can imagine this and be there for her, the better. So I'm going to work with Amelia first, and then I'll work with Rebecca and then Audra, okay? So that we'll just kind of, each one of you can have a personal understanding of this, because if I do it as a group, you won't get it, okay? So Amelia, let's start with your anger, and let's go back to the first time that you can remember feeling angry.
I think it's when Dawn came into the picture.
Okay, perfect. So now,
I remember this very specific moment where I was angry.
Yeah. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you are going to go to your younger self. So you were 2.5. And I remember it well, too, man. You were pissed. You were like, you are not my father. You are out of here. Woo! Yeah. And so so now you're going to go and you're going to go into wherever you want to be with her. If you want to go in her bedroom, she was on a trampoline at that time. That was her bed, was a trampoline, you know. And
that was my bed.
And you just say, you go, Amelia, I am your future self. and I love you so much. I'm so excited to be with you. And you talk to her and help her understand that she doesn't need to be angry about this, that there's something perfect happening, and you just kind of show her all this love and let her feel that it's all okay, that she's not going to lose anything, that no one is replacing her dad, whatever it is that she needed to hear. You talk to her, you hold her on your lap, and just give her love. Now, if she's really, really angry, you might want to start off by jumping on the trampoline until she's a little worn out, and then let her sit on your lap and talk about it.
No, she's only angry when Dawn's around.
Okay. So sit with her until she feels you. And really think about this. What you're doing right now is you're opening up a timeline in which your future, so for her at 2.5, she's literally, there is a timeline in which she literally has her future self materialize. That's what you're doing. You're creating that right now. You're going into that timeline. So can you imagine how that would have felt for you to be 2.5 and see your older self who loves you and knows you inside and out, loves you like crazy, show up in your bedroom and hold you on her lap? Because that's exactly the timeline that you're opening up right now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So say whatever she needs to hear. Let her feel your love, feel your heart, feel how much you love her, and tell her and see if you can find out, like you'll know exactly why she's angry, because she feels she's going to lose something or that she won't be whatever. What was her feeling? What did she feel that made her so angry about Dawn?
I didn't even know why it was anger, but it was fear of Dawn. She was afraid Dawn was going to take everything away.
Mm-hmm. Right? So now show her, tell her, I'm going to show you the future. And then show her all these great things with Dawn, right? Skiing, riding bikes through Hawaii, that you had a great home, you had a great life, all that kind of stuff. Just show her, just go, honey, you have nothing to worry about, right? It's going to get better, not worse. You're not going to lose anything. And then tell her that you are always going to be there for her. Always. Because she's felt really alone. You know, that's what happens because you're cosmic children and you come here from this loving place on the other side and you feel kind of deserted. Even if you have people who love you, you still feel kind of deserted here. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just stay with it until she feels loved, she feels secure, she knows that you will always be there for her no matter what. And when you can really feel that, then you'll notice that you just created a new timeline with her. And you can actually see her making different choices going forward and having a different feeling about life and a different everything. Like it'll change everything. It'll change your experience in school too. It's a completely different timeline. And just feel yourself going through this with her so that any time that she's got any problem, you're always right there. Just imagine that right now, that no matter what comes up, you're right there and you just materialize for her whenever she wants your help. And that no one can help her like you can. Right? Because you're the only person that knows her inside and out. And when you're ready, just tell us what you see.
So right now I'm just hugging little me. And I can see Don has his hand on my back. I'm just kind of letting her know that, like, Dawn loves me and her, and Mom loves me and her, and Dad loves me and her. Because as an adult, I can understand things now that she doesn't, but I can project the energy and the love that they do feel that she doesn't understand at that time.
You see, every one of you, your little girl, never ceases to exist. So literally what you have done is you've gone in and you've closed down an old paradigm, an old timeline where there was all this pain and fear and lack of understanding, and you've opened up a brand new timeline where there is love and support. And it literally changes everything, especially when you go back to the first time you can remember something happening like that, where it's traumatizing. And nobody can do it better than you. I could have had a talk with Amelia as a little girl, but I don't understand her inside and out. But you understand your little girl inside and out. And that's why there is so much healing that can take place so easily, because you do understand and you know what to tell her, right? But because literally from her perspective, she can't see what you see. So you grow up and you become an adult and you understand it from your perspective. But the little girl never got that information. And when you go back like this, it's like going through a back door in a game where you get to go in through the back door and bring in the love and the understanding and everything that she needed at that time. And it's so beautiful when you do this, because you're doing it through feeling, like she's feeling your heart, she's feeling your love, and you can feel her healing. And it's really quick when you're little like this, right? You can dig your heels in when you get older, but when you're 2.5, you're wide open, right?
Yeah.
Good. Do you have anything else you want to share, Amelia?
Not right now.
Okay. All right. So that's a demonstration of how to do this. And once you work with other people and you help them do this, you'll have intuitive feelings to help them understand. But you know what I'm saying? Things will come up, but mostly they're doing their own work. And the more you can go deeply into your imagination, the faster it happens. So Amelia, now when you look at the anger you were feeling, how does it feel?
Soothed.
Yeah. And that's such a great way to say it, because it isn't like anger, it doesn't cease, it isn't like, okay, it all went away. It feels soothed. It's like it's okay to have a part of you that gets angry.
The visual I got was kind of like almost like a sleeping giant or wolf or lava, or just something sleeping. Like, it's not bad. It's just asleep. It's soothed. It's calm now.
Yeah.
It's not gone because it's a part of
That's right.
me.
It's relaxed. Yeah.
It's active. It's just relaxed now.
Yep. That's a beautiful way to put it. It would be like, like being with a lion and just petting its head, and it's soothed, but if it needs to go to battle, it will, So yeah, and so that it's like loving that part of you, like, because what people do is they reject their anger or they reject sadness, but you want to love all of it. And when you're loving all of it, then if it's appropriate to be angry, you'll get angry. It's not getting rid of it. but it's soothing it, like you said. It's going, okay, it's okay. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel sadness or fear or whatever, right? But you see, this experience that you're having right now, you can go in and do this with any emotion. You can track it back yourself. You can do this yourself. And so you can understand that it's just this, what you're feeling, any emotion, abandonment, fear, whatever it is, sadness, it is all coming from a little child that did not understand what it is to be a human being in this game. You've come from, all three of you, think about this. We come from the spirit world where there is none of this. None of the stuff that you're experiencing here is on the other side, at least in the frequency that you would have been in, right? So you come here and you want to play the game and you've got all this love. But trust me, all three of you have played this game many, many times before, or you wouldn't be here now. I mean, it's not that people couldn't be here now, but you wouldn't be talking to me at this point, right? You wouldn't have it set up because you have to understand this is a tough game to play, and the game has to teach you how to play because you're not taught that you're playing a game. So the game has to teach you, and this is how it's done. This is the fastest way to get there. And if you're ever really stuck, I will teach you how to go back into a past life. And because sometimes it'll be like, I try, but I'm stuck. Well, I'll teach you how to go into past life, and we'll do that. Okay? So thank you, Amelia. That was really good. I love that the anger felt soothed. It's great. And now you can always soothe yourself. But you'll find it comes up less and less because there may be parallel things that come up, but anything in that original timeline that was created by that feeling of anger going forward, the minute that you bring love in, you change that entire timeline. There'll be things that you won't even think about again, like they didn't even exist, like they never happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us at Psychic Insights. You will often hear me refer to life as a game. To understand this concept on a deeper level, listen to The Game audiobook by Heather Noel. There's also a free 60-day eCourse at thegivinggamefoundation.com. Links are in the description box. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell if you'd like to receive more of these talks. Thank you.